Good day, currency lovers, and welcome to another video here on Variety and Airs, your source for currency news here on YouTube and across the interwebs. Let's jump right in to talking about the 25 most valuable half dollars. And this has been updated all the way through current prices today, so for 2020. Now we'll start at number 25. It is the 1874 CC Liberty seated half dollar. This coin is worth $23,000 and is an absolutely beautiful specimen of seated Liberty coins. Now, the mintage for these coins was only around 59,000. They also have a 90% silver content and weigh just under half an ounce. So the silver melt is only about $5. But if you come across one of these in a mint state form, it's around 23 grand. But ones that are in circulated semi-beat up condition go for roughly $250 to $450. The next coin at number 24 is the 1855 S Liberty seated half dollar. So similar to previous ones sitting at number 25, yet the total produced was 129,000 of these. They also have a 90% silver content, and they still weigh just under half an ounce at 0.3617 of an ounce, so a little bit heavier than the previously mentioned one, but their value sits around $25,000 for one in mint state and around $400 for a circulated one. So it makes it a very good coin as far as a collectible aspect and value aspect. At number 23, the 1836 capped bust half dollar. Now this coin, produced in 1836, had no mint mark. There's also a mintage of only 1,000 of these coins, so they're incredibly difficult to come across. Even an average one sits around $1,000 in value, with a mint state version being at almost $25,000. At number 22, the 1918D Walking Liberty half dollar. These are sitting at a value of almost $28,000 to $30,000. They had a huge amount produced at 3.8 million of these. However, it's very hard to come across them. Less 1918 Walking Liberties were made at the Denver Mint, so that simply makes these very hard to come across. Whereas the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints produced a majority of these coins. Regular 1918D Walking Liberty half dollars roughly are $25 to $45, but if you find a really good condition or mint state version of this coin, you could be looking at anywhere between $27,000 and $30,000. One of my favorites is at number 21, the 1904 S Barber half dollar. Now this is a $30,000 coin. And I mean, that's just an absurd amount, and we're not even into the major part of the list yet. It had a mintage of just over half a million coins with a silver content of 90%. So once again, that silver melt is around $5, and the average coin will pull you $60. But there are ones out there that have sold for an upwards of $29,000 at auction. The next coin at number 20 is the 1805 Draped Bust half dollar. The Draped Bust half dollar from 1805 is valued in mint state at $35,000. Now the face value is a 50-cent piece, and the total produced was 211,000 of these coins with a 90% silver content. The average one can grab you between $150 and $250, with very, very quality mint state versions selling for an upwards of 35 grand. At number 19, the 1815 capped bust half dollar. Now the 1815 capped bust half dollar had a production amount of 47,000 of these coins. The average one of these sits a bit higher than the aforementioned coins at an average of $1,000, even in a circulated form. but a mint state version of this coin can net you roughly $40,000. They're also a great looking coin, and I think they would be a great addition to anybody's collection if you can actually nab one of these. At number 18, the 1921D Walking Liberty half dollar. With a production of 208,000 and a 90% silver content, the 1921D Walking Liberty half dollar on average pulls around $250, but have been seen in auction to sell for over $40,000 in mint state quality. At number 17, the 1842 O Liberty Seated half dollar. This coin is worth just a bit higher than the previously mentioned coin, which is a value in mint state of roughly $40,500. But the average coin and the most common ones, and by common they are rare, but the more common ones you would see in your local coin shop would roughly be around $500 to $700 for one of these coins if it's in an okay circulated condition. Now, they had a total produced of 203,000 of these coins, and once again with a 90% silver content. As a rough estimate of this coin's value, you can assume this coin in average condition, like I said, is around $600. Next on our list is number 16, the 1873 CC Liberty Seated half dollar. Now, jumping up in value quite a bit, this coin sits at around $44,000 in mint state plus condition, but an average of around $250 to $300 for one of these coins. They had a mintage amount of 122,000 with a 90% silver content. Recently, at the end of last year, one of these coins sold for $44,275. At number 15, the 1802 Draped Bust half dollar. Now, on average, these coins sit around $800 to $1,000 in circulated condition, but a certified mint state version of this coin has sold in auction at $45,000. These have no mint mark, and the total production amount is 29,000 of these coins. They have a silver melt value of $5.11, and like I said, the average one is around $800. They're absolutely beautiful as far as the depiction on the coin. I love Draped Bust half dollars, so it's a wonderful coin on this list. At number 14, the 1801 Draped Bust half dollar. So 1 year previous to the one just mentioned, and with a total produced of 30,000 of these coins, the average 1801 Draped Bust half dollar is around $750. But to find one in certified mint state is a lot more uncommon and can pull a value of almost $50,000 at auction. At number 13, the 1871 CC Mint Mark Liberty Seated half dollar. Now, the CC stands for Carson City Mint, which issued the Liberty Seated half dollars for 1871, which was only the second year that the Carson City Mint issued them. The average coin is a lot more affordable for these, so you can get an 1871 Carson City Seated Liberty half dollar for around $250, but one in certified mint state is going to stand at around $50,500. Now, these coins had a total produced of 153,000, so you will see some in larger coin stores and, of course, across auction sites. At number 12, the 1855 Liberty Seated half dollar. So in the same genre of coin, but with a much larger production amount at 759,000 of these coins. So these are a lot more possible for you to come across. An 1855 Seated Liberty half dollar can be seen in lots of stores, on auction sites, so on and so forth, for around $35 to $50. But a certified mint state version is a lot harder to come by and can sit and grab a value of almost $53,000. At number 11, the 1873 Liberty Seated half dollar. So another Liberty Seated half dollar, albeit from 1873. It has a large production run as well, but not quite as high as that previous one, with a production amount of 214,000. Now, the average coin for this is an absurd amount of money. Most people are not going to buy these, but many people I know do have them if they're avid collectors, because it costs around $3,000 to get one of these on average. But a mint state version of this coin, and you can see one on APMEX and PCGS, is $54,000. So a crazy amount of money, but a beautiful coin. At number 10, and we're getting down there on the list, is the 1870 Carson City Liberty seated half dollar. Now, the main aspect, as I mentioned before, is this was the first year that the Carson City Mint issued Liberty seated half dollars. So just 54,000 of these were issued, making them very valuable right off the bat, but mainly to collectors nowadays. The average coin in circulated condition sits at around $950 to $1,100, but a certified mint state version of this coin can grab you a whopping $72,450. A beautiful coin and a great addition to any collection, or more importantly, worth a bunch of money if you do have one already in your possession that you're looking to sell. At number 9, the 1921 S Walking Liberty half dollar. With a production run of 548,000 and a silver content of 90%, these coins are a little more readily come across and have an average sale amount of $40 to $80. One in certified mint state, however, is worth between $85,000 and $100,000, but they are very hard to come across. Additional little tidbit about this coin is a total of 1 million Walking Liberties were issued that year, but the San Francisco Mint issued nearly 50% of them. Despite this fact, having just one of the 548,000 halves in great condition can easily get you close to $10,000 to $15,000, but more on average around $5,000. But like I said, you can get a circulated semi-beat up version for around $40, so you can definitely add this coin to your collection and have a beautiful 1921 S Walking Liberty half dollar. At number 8, the 1872 Carson City Seated Liberty half dollar. With a total produced of just over $250,000 at 257,000 of these coins, they are 90% silver. The Carson City minted versions of the Liberty seated half dollar from 1872 are probably the most valuable, if not the most valuable, of Liberty seated half dollars. The coin in poor condition is still worth around $100, more than the silver content itself, which is only $5, maybe $5.50. This coin is thus more valuable to a collector than to a silver collector. The average coin sells for around $102, but one was seen in auction at mint state quality and sold for $100,828 in auction, an absurd amount of money. It's a beautiful coin. It's a great part of the Liberty seated half dollar series, especially the Carson City versions, and I just love these coins. At number 7, the 1878 S Liberty seated half dollar. Now, only 12,000 of these were produced, and that's why these are very hard to come by. The 1878 S Seated Liberty half dollar sells for an average of around $18,000. So they're very hard to come across, but very, very valuable. One in certified mint state could be worth roughly $115,000 to $120,000, but one was seen in auction about 2 years ago that sold for $102,300. The 1878 was the last year that the San Francisco Mint ever issued the Liberty seated half dollar, making it a key date coin for any collector. Now, the silver melt, once again, is only a little over $5, so it's much more valuable to a coin collector than a junk collector, or junk silver collector, or silver collector rather. At number 6, the 1796 Draped Bust half dollar. Now, once again, these had a very low production amount at only 3,000 of these coins made. So the average one for a 1796 Draped Bust half dollar sells for over $20,000 generally, but one in mint state or high quality grade could be worth roughly $150,000 to $100,000. Now, there is both a 16 and a 15 star version of the 1796 Draped bust half dollar, and both were minted in very limited numbers. The values that I just covered are for the 15 star version. Both have the smaller eagle on the reverse, and both are around the same amount of money, at sitting around $150,000 for a mint state version. At number 5, the 1919D Walking Liberty half dollar. Now, these had a huge production amount, at 1.1 million of these coins made, but an MS65 version of the 1919D half dollar have historically sold for between $80,000 and $200,000 depending on their condition through top auction companies like Heritage Auctions. This makes the 1919D Walking Liberty half dollar the most valuable coin in that series. Most of the coins from this year and mint are circulated and well worn out. It's easy to find one in poor condition for like $75, but it's near impossible to find one in high MS grade that's not already getting asked a ton of money in a coin store, if not on like AppMex or through a major auction. This is a key date to look out for, so if you do ever come across a 1919D Walking Liberty half dollar, gobble it up if you can get it for under $100 or something that's, affordable to you, because these coins can be worth an absolute ton of money. At number 4, the 1796 Draped bust half dollar. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, wait a minute, we talked about that a minute ago, but since there's a bit of a value difference, I want to talk about this. This is the 16 star version. So there was two versions in 1796 for the Draped bust half dollar, a 15 star and 16 star version, and they both had the same reverse. But a 16 star version has roughly the same amount produced at 3,000 of these coins, but they're a little bit harder to come by in quality condition. One, even on average, runs for about $18,000. I've seen them go for $3 to $4 grand for a really beat up one, and one in high mint state would be worth over $200,000 easy, and is sold for that historically in auction. At number 3, the 1797 Draped bust half dollar. Now, we're really getting down to the last 3 here that are worth just tons of money. In mint state, this coin, the 1797 Draped bust half dollar, is worth $500,000. The average version of this coin, with a total produced of only 3,000 of them, is still around 20 grand even for a beat up version. There is only a 15 star version of the 1797 Draped bust half dollar. This is the last pre-1800 half dollar until 1801. After this year, another Draped bust half would not be issued for 4 more years. These all have the small eagles on the back, so the 15 star version from 1797 can net you around 20 grand in a beat up version, around $500,000 in a high mint state condition. At number 2, the 1817 capped bust half dollar. Now, these are an unknown amount as far as production. Less than 10 of the 1817 capped bust half dollars are even known to exist. So these are kind of one of those coins that's like the creme de la creme, holy grail of coins. This makes these coins hard to price in general, so these are the most valuable cap bust halves you could ever come across, if you were to even come across one. One sold in auction for almost $600,000, and they say that the average price for these coins, if you were to, by total miracle come across one or have one, at around 100 grand for a beat up version. But like I said, they're so rare that it would not be odd to ask for sky's the limit as far as value if you actually had one of these coins, but they're valued at roughly $500,000. And last on our list, and most valuable of the 25 most valuable half dollars through 2020, is the 1838 O capped bust half dollar. Now, the 1838 O capped bust half dollar had roughly a production amount of only 20 coins. Only proof cap bust half dollars were issued at the New Orleans Mint in 1838. making this coin the most valuable half dollar you could ever come across. An average one of these coins in even circulated condition runs roughly $200,000, and some have sold in auction for roughly 700 grand, but are valued in upwards of $1 million. The coin in poor condition is still worth roughly $160,000, which is way over the value of the silver content, which is like $5. So this coin is way more valuable to a collector. They're absolutely hard to come across, but you can see beautiful versions of this coin on Heritage Auctions website, as well as APMEX and our website, VarietyErrors.com, along with all other 24 out of this 25 coin list of the most valuable half dollars. So let me know what you think about these most valuable half dollars that you can come across while coin searching. Let me know what you've come across in your bill and coin searches lately in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.